Good morning and welcome to another episode of From the Farm to the Fork podcast, whereby we have conversations that focus on us in a world and in a field whereby we can never lack conversations in agriculture. My name is Jackie Opiyo.
And I am Opiyo and Wycliffe. You can also follow us at Wycliffe or at Jackie in our program From the Farm to the Fork. With us in studio, we have our visitors with us from the county government and indeed from a CBO, from Uriri, Wachina CBO, who will just introduce themselves after my presenter, Jackie.
All right, and today we're having a very interesting and exciting conversation about knowledge design and creative sharing, one of the most important aspects in the field of agriculture. Let me allow you to introduce yourself as we begin our conversation.
Good morning, listeners. I'm Clark Siaji from Wachina CBO, and I'm a farmer. Glad to be with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is James Masisa from the county government of Migori.
All right, welcome to our studios. And maybe if I begin with our farmer, I would like you to tell us on how you currently acquire and share agricultural knowledge within your community. How do you do it?
Okay, thank you very much for that opportunity. I will wish to highlight to you that information is something that is always ongoing, that people capture information. And that is why for us, we know that farmers are they are researchers, so they continually serve knowledge. So we have formed ourselves into a CBO so that together we can come together and try to enlighten ourselves that this knowledge that we have are important to be captured. So there is a part of capturing and also sharing when we are together, like we have regular meeting every month, that we share this information. We also have demonstration fields that, farming is an art, is also a science that we need to actually see. Is where now seeing is believing. Because if you see it works, then that's the best. Even if you say this is a certified seed, but if it doesn't work in my place, then we don't need it. So I think that's what we do. And we have also formed a WhatsApp group that we continually share this. And I'm glad to share more as we continue.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
From the county government, Mr. James Masisa, the government has the specialists and the intellectuals who are selected amongst the few. You are indeed the ones who employ people who can disseminate information. How do you disseminate the information down to the farmer, and how do you design it to fit the farmer?
Thank you so much, Mr. Wino. Information or knowledge sharing is a continuous process. And as a county and a Department of Agriculture, we are also structured in a way that we are able to reach the local farming community. At the county level, we have the CC, who is in charge of agriculture, the one you live as Minister for Agriculture. Then we have this chief officer, who is in charge of staff, and is the accounting officer of the department. Then on the same level, we have the county director of agriculture, who has also the who has a team of officers under his office. We have the one in charge of crops, we have the deputy in charge of agribusiness. Then at the sub-county level, we have also the sub-county level where we have the sub-county agricultural officer, which is in charge of the sub-county. And within that office, he also has the agribusiness officer and he has the crops officer. Then we move down now to the ward. The ward level, we have the ward officer who is close in touch with farmers. So knowledge transfer, right from the leadership to the ward, to the farmer, it goes that way. Now we get that at the farming level, the staff employed are trained in agriculture. And they engage farmers day in, day out. One way is that knowledge transfer in terms of agroecological zone. If we are implementing a program, for instance, and our main target is crops, we have the agroecological zones with our county. Like now in Migori County, we have almost 6 agro zones. And these agro zones, they have potential crops for those zones. The potential one, if we talk of maize we have almost 2 agro zones for maize. Farmers who are from Kuria East, farmers who are from, for example, Wendo, those who are bordering the Kisi Island, farmers in Rongo, not Kamagambo, those are the farmers we mark, and when we are giving the seeds, or when we are giving them information about the kind of seed to plant, we let them go for the 6 series. Those are close to the island of Kisi. But the farmers who are in the lowland, like now in Nyatike, farmers who are in Uriri, we give them a different variety. We give them 5 series. That is the lowland crop seed varieties. So farmers are trained and given information. That's knowledge that in this agrozone, this is the kind of variety of a crop which can do well. But you get, for instance, a farmer in East Kamagambo, you want to plant 6 series. Yes, the crop will do, but it will not meet its potential. It can't meet its potential. So that knowledge we transfer to farmers and give them the right seed to plant. If you get a farmer who is planting, like now rice is for those farmers who are in Nyatike. If we get sorghum, we have also sown. Sorghum, it can do very well in Nyatike, it can do well in Suna West, it can do well in Kuria West, it can do well in Kuria East. The other zones, yes, sorghum can grow, but it cannot meet the potential. Because the interest we have is to have food security. And for us to maximize, we have to have the right crops in the right agro zones.
Okay, maybe just to get back to our farmer, with his conversation talking about how the county government is playing an important role in ensuring that farmers are on the right path. But I want to understand on how do you think that the collaborative approaches between the county government and you farmers can enhance knowledge sharing? First of all, reply to me that is the county government actively involved into your activities? And if they collaborate, what is the importance of this?
Okay, here is a case where we have a CBO in place, and then we have the county government. The county government has a structure and a very bureaucratic structure, such that when you want to access something, it might take a while. But these are an innovative way that we have worked it up. For example, we had challenges with knowing the weather patterns. So we went to the country director for meteorological department, and we have included him in our WhatsApp group. So weekly, on Tuesday, to be very specific, on Tuesday, he posts the weekly weather updates. So through that, we get information much faster because it goes to individual phones. So that then, I'm saying that the county government is a very important structure, but they are bureaucratic, they are slow, and we have to get innovative ways that we can cap the information faster.
Jackie, before we sink deeper, there is something called politics, because in county government, we have to look into politics. So, Mr. Masisa, how do politics affect your movement and decision making on issue pertaining to agriculture, especially to our farmer? Is politics playing a major role, or it's just lightly there?
Let me tell you that politics is a structure in the leadership, and there is no way you run out of politics. It is one system which runs the leadership of the county or the leadership of the nation. That the politics has space. And when we talk about politics, like now, for example, if I give you the MCA, the MCA is a member of the county assembly. And the MCA, they are the people who pass the budget, the work plan for the county.
Yes.
And there's no way you exclude. Even when we are doing farmer recruitment, the MCA has to be brought on board. The county, the ward administrator, the sub-county administrators have to be brought on board. Farmer leaders have to be brought on board. All the stakeholders have to be brought on board. Even the media has to come on board so that they are able to pass the information to the larger public of the county. So politics, to me, is very supportive, because when we develop the programs to implement, they look at them, they pass them to the assembly, then they are thrown back. When we develop policies from the county, from the department, those policies go for public participation. In the long run, they go to, like now for agriculture, they go for agriculture committee in the assembly, they look at it, we share, they understand, they own it, they table it in the assembly. It is passed by the assembly through their effort, then it comes back as a guideline to assist our farmers. That's their effort. And we also bring the media on board to see that the best, those who cannot be able to reach, those who are listening to the radio, they are also able to get the information. This is what is coming up. So politics has played a bigger role in the county, and it is very, very, very supportive.
Okay.
Getting back to our farmer here, he talked about having a WhatsApp group that is bringing different farmers together. And the aspect of knowledge sharing is coming here. I would like us to understand that, do you get experts from your own group? For instance, there's a farmer who is dealing with a specific type of farming. Does one of your farmers share knowledge amongst all of you, or how do you design the issue of knowledge?
The WhatsApp world is not only limited to the farmers, and I've even mentioned the meteorological department, the agriculture department, all these departments. We just walk and ask if they may join our WhatsApp group, so that any information that come from across, and even the media practitioners are in our world. The academias are also in our world, so that the information you can just freely share. Anything that you feel that can enable the production of farmers to improve marketing, and even identifying the right seeds to plant at a planting time. So it's not limited to farmers only, but all stakeholders are invited to be part of it. And we keep to add. It's not something that has stopped. It's a continuous thing, so that the right information and timely information can be received.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Last time from the county government, I have to appreciate you. You are doing soil sampling and testing across the county, and I happened to be one of those people who went there as a media personality. How was your soil testing and sampling? How did it go?
Soil sampling and testing is one of our station activities we undertake.
Yes.
And some of the soil sampling and the testing is on demand. A farmer want to know the type of seed you want to plant, the type of fertilizer you want to use. They can request it for soil sampling. Sometimes we do at random. Like now, you remember we were trying to change from use of DAP,
yes,
moving to a different type of fertilizer. Why? Because we through the linkage and research, we discovered that this region, the acidity of the soil was going high due to the overuse of DAP. That's why we are trying to move out of the DAP to encourage our farmers to take up another type of fertilizer. So knowledge transfer, it is real that not only on soil sampling, as my colleague said that about the CPO.
Yes.
CPO, we have a number of common interest groups of farmers.
Yes.
We are brought together. When we talk of common interest, there are farmers who have common interest. If there are farmers for tomatoes, farmers for apiculture, farmers for dairy, farmers for poultry, those are common interest farmers.
Yes.
We have brought them together. We have nurtured this farmer to a level that we want to move them to form a CPO. They form a CPO, where it belongs now. When they form a CPO, they will go to form an association, an umbrella body to be able for them to be able to have a bargaining power at the market. Even at the grassroots level where these common interest groups are, that's the CIGs. The demonstration when the CPO is talking about, they're good. We have even nurtured some into farmer business schools or farmer field schools, where we set a farm for the common interest groups. If it is tomato, from production, from seed, planting, spacing, technology, safe use of chemicals, control the pests, up to harvest. The farmer are taken step by step, gaining knowledge and understanding on how a tomato crop is grown, right from planting up to harvest. Then we have another group of farmers around, like in Kuria West and Suna East, where we have not just 10 groups. And these farmers, they start from the market. They go carry out the market survey. They see what kind of products are in the market. When are they demanded? Then they come back. Then we draw a cropping calendar with them, looking at the market. If it is tomato, we know this is the period when tomato is required in the market. When do we go back and plant? We develop a cropping calendar based on the market survey report. Now from there, they start from there, and they are able to supply at the right time when the product is required in the market.
All right, as we continue listening to this amazing conversation, just a reminder to our listener that you are listening to the Farm From the Farm to the Fork podcast. And you can still follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, X, Instagram, and also make sure to follow our hashtag Opiyo, just to ensure that you're getting the most amazing insights. As we get to another phase, I would like you to, our county government officer, just to make this clear, that do you actually engage actively or share knowledge to the farmers on the ground, or is this something you just implement?
Day in, day out, knowledge transfer from farmers and farmers to the staff. We don't leave farmers also. Farmers have knowledge that we need to tap. Like now the issue of seed. The issue of seed, and when you carry out farm trials, we are passing knowledge to the farmers, and we are also tapping what the farmers have. When we talk of the seed, now the traditional seed, for example, the conventional agriculture where we had the Nyamura seed, or we had Ojuti, those varieties were good, yes. We have extension staff linkage to research, so that we want to tap the good genes of this Ojuti or Nyamura seed, so that the researchers will work hard. Because what was missing there in the traditional seed, it is the quantity, the productivity, which was slightly low. And that's why the hybrids came, to be able to bridge the gap of food demand. Now we need the researchers to come in and tap. If Ojuti was resistant to pests, what was it having? It is the research work to go and tap that gene, bring it back, and see how pests can invade it with the current hybrid, so that we maintain the production, but also we maintain the resistance gas and the resilience to climate change.
Mr. Clark, Siaji, maybe I would like to know whether you always see the impact of the county, the way they work with you down there as a farmer. When do you realize their existence back at home, in your CBO, in your shamba, at home? When do you realize their presence?
Yeah, I would like to put this one very clear. That is a very bureaucratic system. And it will hardly reach the farmer timely. So that gap is there because they need facilitation, transport, and all that. So as a farmer group, we also do research. I know the kind of research that our people know, the conventional research that's done in the lab, done wherever, is talking about tomato, for example. Tomato is very precious, high demand, and almost all throughout the year. But now the problem in our region, is about bacterial wilt. It's a disease that captures the roots of the tomato. And so the farmer, however much, but the roots have been captured, it can't take in nutrients. So the whole farm can go dry. It will perish, the whole farm. And that has not had solutions so far. But in our CBO, we have found how we are going to do grafting. We have tried grafting. So we are grafting tomato, and that is now resistant to bacterial wilt. And if you call them, they will come. I know they will come, but maybe they will come next January. So this waiting for the budget to be done, whatever. So we are proactive. We are really telling our people that we need to be very proactive in doing what we do, because it is for us, for our good, and we can share where necessary. And we always share. We also have, we also have a food festival, which is grand for us annually. So their farmers come together and they exchange seeds, and they also exchange methodologies of cooking. For example, if pumpkin, for example, there is pumpkin soup, there is how you eat the seed, how you roast the seed, and even how you extract oil from the seed. So this can be demonstrated practically. And also we have other things which are weeds for most people, like one of our flagship is the blackjack, the unyego, which is very highly nutritious. So when you come to Wachina, it will be cooked and you will eat it. And so this really opens people's mindset that all we have around and about, and even the sweet potato vine is very edible, is a good vegetable. So this mentality, I think the biggest problem that we have is the mindset that we need to really bring down and work it up. And we also have problem with the extension officers from the government and all that, when they come on the ground, they come with the total assumption that those farmers are illiterate, miserable, and do not know what they're doing. And they at most time they are very relevant because you find sometimes the information is backward, apart from what the government is implementing, but in terms, knowledge is something you have to update every now and then.
Yeah.
So when you come with the technology which was used in 1903 and you want it now, and we know that there is a better way to do it, so we just listen and say, oh, goodbye, it's a good time to visit. I think we should have more regular meeting even with the people from the county government. Thank you.
All right, as we finalize this conversation, I would like all of us just to give a recommendation on the better ways to improve knowledge design and concretive sharing in agriculture. Maybe to begin with you as you finalize with our county officer.
I think one of it is because ways of capturing information should always be updated, and I think that's why we need many stakeholders on board. And I think from here we'll have your contacts. I add you to our WhatsApp group, and even to our YouTube, wherever, so that we are able to capture information from all sectors. And also, other than that, how to store it is another big problem we have, because we might have a good information, put in WhatsApp, few days is over, it disappears. So I think that one of the things I will recommend that many stakeholders come on board, so that we store, we capture, we store, and then we can be able to disseminate.
Yes, on your side.
Thank you so much. I think on the conclusion, I will say that, as he has mentioned, everyone has to come on board. For us to be able to address the issue of food security, everybody must come on board. Be it from the county government, be it from the private sector, be it from the farming community. And we are not going to allow that say that the farmers will remain alone and do research. It must bring everybody on board. Research, you borrow from every one of us. That you will not say that the farmers will remain alone and they are doing research, or agriculture department will remain alone and they are doing research. All research communities doing research on their own. Even research has to come to the ground and see what are the challenges farmers are facing. Then the researchable areas are picked from the farmers. In sharing with the county government and the farmers, then we say this is the area. Like now you mentioned about the bacterial blight. Bacterial blight is there. It is spread and it is even transmitted by water. So we see how best can this be addressed in a collaborative manner, that the problem is addressed. And I will also say that researchers, if they are put on board, so that a team is put in place to address an issue which is cropping up to disturb our food system in the county. That one will work well, and in the long run, we will have food security being addressed in our county.
Wow, thank you so much for the amazing recommendations. One thing I'm learning, that information can be outdated. You might be coming on the ground saying that this is the right information for the people, and finding out that they're even ahead of you.
And talking on our topic today, knowledge design and creative sharing, I hope they will not fail to come back again, because radio is a tool that you can use to disseminate the same information to that local farmer, because we reach them in mass.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you so much for sharing this great conversation. Next time we are meeting, we shall be emphasizing on the key factors that contribute to a successful co-creative environment of sharing agricultural knowledge. Till next time, keep it tuned to From the Farm to the Fork podcast. And remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Opiyo, at Wycliffe Odhiambo, and make sure the hashtag is From the Farm to the Fork podcast and hashtag Opiyo. Till next time, bye-bye.